Welcome back to the Blissful Badger. Today, I wanted to expand on the lore for my Aeldari Crusade force. While I talk on the subject, I want to show you one of my favorite conversions based on this lore. As the story progressed, I knew the major end goal was to field some Exodites, Eldar, riding on dinosaurs. When the Crusade was announced, I had already decided to play either Tau or Aeldari, as they were underrepresented at the game store. I took a moment and decided on the Eldar instead of the Blueskins. Choosing the history of my Spirithost Lost was more intensive. I spent a few hours scouring the books I owned, including the original Kill Team rulebook. I also spent time reading lore online, going all the way back to the original War in Heaven. I never wrote down an actual story for them, but I had a rough outline of an idea, and hoped the Crusade would eventually guide me to writing the full story. It all began with the prophecy, "The Volmoon shall bring forth the dragon." I took this line and drew connections throughout all of the information I had read. Again, I had made an outline of a history without actually writing the story. And now I am going to try to tie it all in. Again, the Volmoon shall bring forth the dragon. Vol is the Aeldari god of smiths, and the brother of the ruler of the Aeldari pantheon. As the god of smiths, he was known for forging many things, including Anaris the Dawnlight, the last blade forged by Vol. This was the sword that Eldinesh of the Red Moon used, as he was slain by Cain, taking Anaris the Dawnlight as a planned relic to go after. I had the idea that my spirit host was going to be searching for said blade. My spirit host was looking for a way to bring Anaris the Dawnlight to a world shrine, being that it was very similar to an infinity circuit, and they thought they could maybe infuse the power necessary into the blade to defeat She Who Thirsts. In the lore, a Volmoon sometimes can be considered to reference a Blackstone fortress. But I also thought maybe it is very similar to a craft world. And a craft world has an infinity circuit where all of the souls of Eldar are saved. Exodites take the similar idea, but have gone back to nature. And so they have world circuits, world shrines, instead of infinity circuits. So if my spirit host could find Anaris and find the proper world shrine, perhaps they could imbue the soul of Vol back into the blade and be powerful enough to take out She Who Thirsts. With the help of the Ynnari and Yneid, perhaps, if all of the different forces of the Eldar came back together, they would be able to defeat her. And so my forces set out to find several things. They needed Anaris the Dawnlight. They needed to find the Exodite planet. And they needed to tie their power together with the other Aeldari forces to finally go after She Who Thirsts. And then my dice decided against that for the Crusade. In 12 games, I only won 5, 3 of which right at the end. And so they never did find the blade that they needed in the mission going after relics. And they never did find the proper planet for the Exodites, but they did find some shining spears. Exodites, who were known to breed dragons, which were flying dinosaurs, for lack of a better explanation. I had to have some Exodites in my army, and I had a lot of fun building these custom Shining Spears models. And although they never really did very much on the table, they looked really cool while dying. In their first mission, they were wiped off turn 1, but that was against Space Marines and Knights. In their second game, they were also wiped out in turn 1. And in every single game I have fielded them so far, I have yet to get the charge. So I still haven't seen what the Shining Spears can actually do in combat. But they can look really amazing on the shelf. And overall, sure, the Spirithost Lost never actually succeeded in their mission, but they're still going. They still have a lot of hope. And perhaps when the Ynnari and the Drukhari finally tie together with the Aeldari, perhaps, just perhaps, She Who Thirsts will fall. I know this was a little bit scattershot, but like I said, it was always just an outline of an idea, and I hope you enjoyed watching me paint up my models. Subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.